Okay, let's look today at a really common problem type on the ACT, and that is the omit or delete questions. Some years they say omit, some years delete. And the first thing to remember about the ACT is that the test makers love simplicity, clarity and simplicity. So oftentimes the simplest thing to do is omit or delete something, extra information, redundancies, that sort of thing. Turns out about 50% of the time, omit or delete is the correct answer on an ACT question when it comes up. And nothing else on any standardized test is like that, where you can be sure that about half the time this is the right answer. So we're going to take a look at a few. And just to be clear, we're not going to answer the questions necessarily. We're just going to figure out if the answer is omit or not. We can leave figuring out the answers to you as an exercise you can do on your own. You can email us, Facebook us, do anything to get the answers. We'll be happy to help. Okay, about halfway through the school year, I learned that the exchange program was looking for a new home for Lygia. After a severe storm, the basement of her host's house had flooded, leaving 2 bedrooms unusable. The 2 little brothers of Lygia's host family, who had volunteered to move to those bedrooms for a year, had to be moved upstairs to the room Lygia was using. Now, typically we wouldn't have read all that, but because we would have answered 6 and 7, we would have had the context necessary to answer 8 without having read it again. Now, what we're being asked is, should we get rid of this part or should we leave it? Let's read the sentence without it. The 2 little brothers of Lygia's host family, who had volunteered to move to those bedrooms for a year, had to be moved, period. If we were to remove it, that's what the sentence would read. And after thinking about it, I think you'll realize that it would be a little unclear as to why Lygia had to leave the house. Perhaps it would be implied, but we want to be clear. So omitting here would kind of mess the sentence up. Okay, so it didn't work here. Let's look at the next one. The company's name reflects this African American focus as well. Glory is meant to evoke both the exalted spirit of gospel churches and the something else. However, again, if we were to omit this verb to evoke, the sentence would read, the company's name reflects this African American focus as well. Glory is meant both the exalted spirit. We could say glory is meant as both the exalted spirit, etc. However, we can't just get rid of this. So once again, omit is wrong. You're probably thinking, geez, what do these guys know? Doesn't look like this ever happens. Wait and see. Here we go. Number 55, which is this part. The sentence reads, most video games are designed so that your main opponent in these video games is a predictable computer program. Aha, well, if we say most video games up here, it follows that we don't need to repeat ourselves again down here. So, omit is the right answer here. The sentence would read, most video games are designed so that your main opponent is a predictable computer program. Okay, well that sentence makes sense. Simplicity rules, omits the right answer. Another question here. In 1928 in San Antonio, Texas, where Mendoza and her family made their first recording. Well, actually, not only do we not need this where, but this where is going to be a little bit confusing and turn this sentence into not actually even a full sentence. So if we read it without where, because we see omit as an option, we know it's right a lot of the time. So in 1928 in San Antonio, Texas, Mendoza and her family made their first recording. Perfect. Sounds great. All right, maybe these guys do know what they're talking about. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, number 48 is up here if you can't see that little tiny 48. So let's read the sentence. Video screens which have been populated by movie stars, monsters, and heroes. Well, let's see if we should omit it. Video screens populated by movie stars, monsters, and heroes. Well, if we were to remove this part of the sentence, which have been, and it read like we just said, it wouldn't really work. We do need to change this perhaps. However, omit is not the right answer. So we'll leave that for you to figure out what the right answer is there. And the last one, the results indicated a problem that threatened to postpone and delay the topping out. Okay, so this is the part we're being asked about. If we read the sentence without delay, the sentence would read, the results indicated that a problem, the results indicated a problem that threatened to postpone the topping out ceremony, marking the placement of the final sections between the two freestanding legs of the St. Louis Gateway Arch. Well, check it out. Postpone and delay mean the same thing. So this is a case where the sentence is redundant and omit is the best option. So we saw 3 in which omit was the right answer, and we saw 3 in which omit was not the right answer. So you can see sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The important thing is that when you see this answer, you make sure to check it out, because about 50% of the time it's the right answer. Okay, so if you have any questions about these other questions, not knowing what the answer is for 8, 41, and 48, feel free to check us out on Facebook, and you can put something on our wall. We'll be sure to help you out. Or just ask one of your smart friends. Or if you're the smartest one of your friends, yeah, definitely get in touch with us. We'll help you out. Okay, take care and happy studying.